ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך שהכל נהיה בדברו.
Amen.
לחיים, חיים. Good morning, folks. So we're learning the mimer the Rebbe said in 1975. Vayigash elav Yehuda. Yehuda came close to Yosef. And we're learning this in mystical terms. That's what Chassidus does, right? And what's the mystical terms? Yehuda represents something, and Yosef represents something. Yehuda is the level of, in the 10 divine attributes of 10 divine attributes, he's the embodiment of Malchus, royalty, kingship. Now, this might be very counterintuitive, but that's a feminine quality. You think a king would be the opposite, right? Not the concept of a king. No, it's not. A king is someone who's a recipient of their royalty. They don't create their royalty. It's a God-given quality. Now, most kings don't embody it, of course. But that doesn't take away from the fact that Malchus is a feminine quality. It's also called Ban. Um, the makeup of God's name, as everything emanates from God's name, Yud-Kei Vav-Kei, when you spell out the Tetragrammaton, it can be spelled out 4 different ways, meaning when you spell out each letter, Yud is always spelled Yud Vav Dalet. Hey could be written, spelled out as a word. Remember, you're pronouncing the word hey, right? So how would you write it out? Could be hey Yud, or I think hey Aleph hey. I remember, I don't have it in front of me. Then Vav could be written Vav Vav, or Vav Vav, or Vav Yud Vav, or Vav Aleph Vav. And then the final hey is also like the first hey, right? Hey Yud, hey Aleph. So when you spell out the letters of the Tetragrammaton, they will spell out in different ways, which means that the name of God, that is the vivifying force of creation, is the vivifying force of creation plays different roles in creation. Excuse me. I'm very much feeling better, but not complete. But Mitzvah Hashem. Well, l'chaim. Sorry, 1 second. So Yehuda represents the feminine quality, and that's Ban, which is the numeric value 52, how the name is spelled out. And that is, feminine is from bottoms up. starting from the bottom and working yourself up, right? Starting like a ladder and moving up the ladder. So what's like that? Sorry, actually, actually, something I don't get over here. So something I don't understand, but that's okay. So what's maybe it's not okay. Gotta understand. So Yehuda, the embodiment, the feminine embodiment from down up, he's king, royalty, which will all be royal in the times of Mashiach. So he embodies redemption. The redemption. And redemption ultimately is a bottom-up manner. In other words, because redemption means that you are refining the world um, from the lower element and bringing it up higher. In other words, ultimately, we will come to a place that we don't need anybody to inspire us. We'll be inspired on our own. We will come to a place where, we want to connect to Hashem because we recognize that we have nothing without that. And it's, the entirety of us, ultimately. Now, Yosef, he is the masculine quality, right? And that's top down, the masculine quality. Now, what happens over here? Yehuda is approaching Yosef, which means the top down is not is secondary to what it's approaching, right? The primary is what stays stationary, and they, so to speak, secondary. I don't know if those are the right words, but in concept at least, right? Or subordinate, maybe better. So bottom up is subordinate to the top down now. So in a sense, now we do need inspiration in a time of exile. Yehuda is not about exile. He's about redemption. That's bottoms up. So it'll turn around in times of Mashiach, the feminine quality. So what does that mean? Now you need a teacher. In the times of Mashiach, you won't need a teacher because you'll perceive in the world godliness, bottoms up from the world. Right now, we're learning together, and I hope I hope I'm doing a good job. L'chaim. I hope I'm doing a good job in inspiring. That's top down, right? You're dependent You're dependent on at least somewhat on the inspiration. That's in a time of darkness. Someone who has, some light to share. So that's a top down. Times of Mashiach, the material world won't be an obstacle. Material world won't be an obstacle that we will be drawn to it outside of the divine spark and the divine intent that's in the material world. So that's from the world itself that we will um, that we will come to this. Right now, it's not from the world; it's from the teachings. It's from the master teacher, the Alter Rebbe, the Rebbe. Actually, this is not Tanya, right? This is the Rebbe teaching. I'm just the mouthpiece, right? But in other words, that's top down. It's the teacher that is inspiring us. For me, for sure. I'm sure for you too. Times of Mashiach, the world itself will be inspiring because we will perceive the divine in it. So there's a saying by Chassidim, Mashiach comes, so we say, we'll be walking the street and say, oh, ah, oh la la. Oh, no, oh la la, but it's me. Everything we're learning now, right? It's an idea in your mind's eye. It's not in your physical eye. The spark of the divine that animates this, right? It's not in our physical eye. It's in our mind's eye. Mashiach means in the physical world we'll perceive the divine, not with the physical eye, not with the mind's eye merely. That's true bottoms up, right? That's true bottoms up. Now, and what's interesting, again, that's a feminine quality. That's uh okay. Oh, okay. We'll continue with this idea. Sorry, I didn't realize it's fine. Um, to be continued.